Even though the president is in isolation now back at the White House, unable to campaign, the campaign is kicked into hyperdrive with something called Operation MAGA. And Operation MAGA is all of the Trump family and friends and the vice president and a lot of Trump surrogates really hitting the road in high gear to go out and keep the campaign alive. And also just supporters out there, as we talked about yesterday, just with these impromptu rallies. And we're so excited to have probably one of the most prominent members of Operation MAGA, as well as the vice president of the Trump organization. And really, I mean, son of the president. Come on, could there be a more fun job in this day and age? Give it up, ladies and gentlemen, for Eric Trump. Eric, how are you?
I'm watching you on Twitter as we speak right now. It's an amazing thing. I watch your whole lead-in, and you're incredible.
Oh, well, listen, back at you, man. We appreciate it. And listen, when they finally take this stream off of Twitter because they're censoring us, just go to YouTube and then jump to Facebook. You're going to have to jump around a little bit because these things tend to disappear, as I'm sure you know.
Yeah. By the way, I did a big event. I had 1,500 people in Pahrump, Nevada last week, and Facebook carried it for exactly 5 minutes before they cut off the live feed on 3 different. By the way, anybody who doesn't think the censorship is real, believe me, they're censoring all of us, and it's if they're willing to censor the president of the United States, you believe me, they're willing to censor you and me and everybody listening to us right now.
That's exactly what I tell my wife. My wife goes, "Can you complain to somebody?" I go, "It happens to President Trump. They're not going to care about me." Well, anyway, listen, we appreciate you being here. Oh, also, I saw on the caller ID you're calling from Trump Tower. Are we sure this line's secure? Because I know we've had some problems with that in the past.
It probably isn't. I mean, they've spied on us for the last 4 years, including during the whole campaign. So they're probably doing it again. But have fun. We'll still.
I guess it doesn't matter. We're broadcasting anyway. Well, all right. So let's talk about Operation MAGA. Now, your father gets COVID-19, and he does what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to hunker down. You go into isolation. You come off the campaign trail. And you guys, I mean, was it almost immediate that this Operation MAGA idea bubbled up? And tell everyone, how it came about and what exactly the plans are moving forward with this campaign.
Yeah, I mean, obviously my father, and I know it's always a scary thing as a son to watch, but obviously he got hit by a ton of bricks on Friday, but you wouldn't believe it, Mark. I mean, by Saturday, he called me 3 times on Saturday. We were laughing, joking. He sounded like phenomenal, right? I mean, my father's not like the sit in a hospital bed and eat applesauce type guy. That's like that is exactly not who Donald Trump is, right?
That's right, yeah.
He's talking about stimulus for airline workers. He's talking about I mean, the guy was incredible. I mean, the guy sounded awesome and he sounded great, and I mean, he's back, and he was sitting there working the entire day at Walter Reed, and I mean, his work ethic is something I've admired my entire life. But no, listen, you look across the country and you look at the enthusiasm out there. Look at these boat parades all over Florida. I mean, I've seen them in Jacksonville and everywhere. I mean, look at what's going on out there. And listen, we're going to hit the campaign trail very, very hard. He's going to hit the campaign trail very hard. He's going to be back out there. We have a debate in Miami coming up in a couple of days, and we have a pre-debate boat parade in Miami that's going to be off the charts. I mean, it's going to be unbelievable. It's going to be absolutely wild.
Is that the day before you're really going to troll the Biden campaign with a huge, massive boat parade the day before this debate? Is that right?
No. It's about 4 hours before the thing. No, I'm literally, I'm gonna come off a boat with the guys. There's going to be 1,000 boats out there. They're going to have flags all over the place,
and
we're going to be going up. And then I'm gonna come off the boat. I'm going to go back to my hotel room. I'm going to change into a suit, and I'm literally going to walk over the debate now. So
that's awesome.
No, it's certainly not the day before. It's going to be about 4 hours before. But
that's great.
No, listen, there's enthusiasm out there, and there's a lot of people in this country. They love America, and they're sick and tired of politicians apologizing for the greatness of our country, and they love red, white, and blue. And they love, my father, and they love what he stands for, and they love that he's a fighter. And the guy's an absolute fighter to his core. Sometimes it gets him in trouble, to tell you the truth, but it's exactly what this country needed. They needed a fighter, somebody to stand up for this nation. And there's a lot of spirit out there, and that's really Operation MAGA. It's kind of harnessing that and all of us. And I just couldn't be more proud of the guy.
Oh yeah, we're same same here. Listen, you're right. It's what the country needed, and it's what the country needs for 4 more years, which is why it's great that you guys are going out and doing this. Speaking of the debate, though, right before the president was hospitalized last week, the big story, or one of them, was these debate rules, and all the rules are going to change, and they're going to cut off microphones and all this other stuff. But that fell away. Is there any new movement on that? Are they still changing the rules? Because I know that your father was putting his foot down and saying there's no reason to change these rules halfway through the game.
The only rule that they should change, and I just encourage everybody to look for this, but, Biden literally is just reading off notes the entire time. They'll ask him, well, there's 7 steps to fighting COVID, and then he looks down his flashcard that he has on his microphone. He just reads what was pre-scripted for the guy. Like, how about this? How about we do clear podiums, right? So there are no notes. I mean, when you're talking to Putin, when you're talking to Kim Jong Un, you're not going to have flashcards that you can look down at, and I mean. It's not like the way the real world works. Like, you think I have a flashcard in front of me right now? You think you have a flashcard in front of you right now? It's not how the real world. Like, you have to be able to be quick on your feet, and you have to actually be able to have a conversation. Like, stop with this notes nonsense. And even last night, Biden did a town hall. It didn't come off, in my opinion, very well, but. One of the people, asked him in the audience, Trump really knocked you off your game. How are you going to stand up to world leaders if at a debate you can get knocked off your game so easily? And I don't know.
This next debate is town hallish, so there may be a little bit more of that. We may hopefully see. Does your father have a similar strategy going into this, or because everyone always says, "Wow, we need to change up the strategy. He was so harsh; it's a turnoff. He's bullying the vice president." I mean, does the strategy remain the same, or is there some kind of new, subdued nuance that you're maybe going to put forward this time around?
Well, it's amazing. If you look at actually that last debate, my father had to fight Chris Wallace, and he had to fight Biden. I mean, he had to fight both of them, and whatever happened to the days. Now Biden gets it. He did last night at his town hall. Sir, please tell me about the. There's never these harsh questions like you called. You said you didn't want your kids to go to schools that were racial jungles. In 1990. What did you mean by that? You called African American super predators. What did you mean by that? There's never that kind of question. You said the other day that you want to pack the Supreme Court with radical left people. Like you want to pack
the police, all this other stuff. Sure.
Yeah, defunding the police, taking away oil and gas, socialized health care. They never ask him tough questions. Well, sir, you said it. Did you not mean it? Are you lying? Are you going back on it? Have you changed your mind on this issue? Are you going to promise today? That's the way they treat my father. Then they look at Biden last night. Sir, are you okay? Would you like a Coke? Would you like a stool? Would you like would you like a back massage? Are you comfortable, sir? Are you comfortable? With my father, they're shouting and yelling at him. I mean, he's forced to fight. I mean, first of all, listen, he's a fighter, right? It's in his DNA, and you either like a person who's a fighter or you like somebody who's passive. I don't know. I think that's people are different, but thank God this country has a fighter in it, because honestly, we're getting ripped off by China, we're getting ripped off by Mexico, we're getting ripped off by NATO. Our military was falling apart. Our servicemen and women, weren't being paid well. Our VA was treating our vets terribly. Our educational system was crumbling. We had horrible. I mean, look at the unemployment we had under Obama and Biden. I mean, they were giving $150 billion away to Iran, a country that hates our guts and chants death to America, and they were increasing our taxes, and small businesses were doing terribly, and manufacturing was leaving our country. I mean, thank God we have a fighter in the White House. It's exactly what we've needed.
Absolutely, and we still need it, and that's why you're out campaigning. You're headed to North Carolina, and I know all over the country. Real quick, in 2024, how do you and Don Jr. and Ivanka decide who's going to run after your father's second term?
Well, I was at a rally the other day, and somebody had a T-shirt that said, it was Trump/Trump 2020, 2024. They come up to me, it's like, this is you and Don. You are the Trump/Trump, and I go, you know what? I like my day job. I'm going to stay the hell out of politics. Well, I like just about nothing about most politicians. I like one politician a lot. I like just about nothing about most politicians.
Well, listen, we all support your father. We love your father. We love you and the entire family. Thanks for doing what you do. Give it up, everyone, for Eric Trump from Operation MAGA.